Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly. I was going to say dose of true tarot. This is not tarot. This is the weekly World Energy Healing Session for the 28th of April, 2026. And we've got quite a few agendas that have been brought up. We've got anxiety, allergies, fate, kind of slowing down and um, I think that was it. Maybe something else I'll remember in a minute. So we'll focus on those. And oh, tiredness was the other one. Somebody just wrote me the tiredness. Oh my goodness, the screen is just covered with this. All right, so tiredness. The tiredness came up already that it would be um, apart from, let's say, you're not sleeping enough, you're doing too much, um, you're not eating properly, those things we can't really do much about if you're not going to sleep. If you can't sleep, that's a different story. But for the moment, we're going to look at, let's say you are doing all the right things. You're getting the proper amount of rest. You are eating right and you are getting your exercise, you have moderate levels of stress. If that's happening and you're tired, that's what this will deal with. And we're going to start with the gut brain. So I'm going to relate this to the feet because the feet are really important areas of the body that connect to the earth. And we were discussing that, we don't really touch Earth too often anymore. So we're just going to reconnect us to the earth, to nature. Now, if you can't get out in nature, which happens for a lot of us, uh, if I go to my home in Canada, it's really hard to connect with nature. I could be in the office and maybe go for a walk, but I'm walking on cement for a really long time till I get to some nature. And by then I have to turn back so I could go to work. So a lot of people I think are in that position. So we want to help those people gain the capacity for their feet, the fascia, the connection to the earth, connection to the minerals in the earth, and then bring that up to the gut brain. So just imagine feet, you've got a diaphragm at the feet, you got all this fascia, you got so many bones that make up the foot and then connect the ankle, which is your decision-making process. And then we also have direction in life. So somebody brought up slowing down, which makes a lot of sense when you're starting your day. Usually, you've had no problem. You wake up when you're a little kid, you jump out of bed, you run around, all of those lovely things happen. But as we age, we don't do the same things as we did when we were kids. We don't run around barefoot. We don't make all those moves. So even now, you could probably see me rocking. And one of the things I'm doing is I'm going from heel and I'm lifting the heel and going right to my toes and I'm splaying my toes. And at the same time, putting in this visual, it's more than a visual because I'm in Mindscape. And that dynamic of being in a workshop helps us to really connect to the first layer of the crust of the planet where we're going to be able to antioxidize our feet, get the warmth that is needed from the soil. If it's cold, it can be cold in areas. I mean, I wouldn't think like that if I'm in winter in Canada, but we're thinking of, let's say, sand or summer, spring, late spring, early fall, where it's really warm. It's going to bring those considerations in. We want to increase that intensity for this week as we get to the full moon, which is on Friday. Full moon's on Friday. So my feet are now up on the toes, actually. They haven't, as you notice, haven't moved. And as I push down on my knees, those toes are solidly splayed and pointed. And I'm feeling into, so you could do this right now if you're low enough. Go and massage that arch. Just go in and massage that arch. Just even if you just touch your arch like that, you're communicating that you want some attention brought there. Then when you're done doing that, put your feet flat and make sure you're splaying your toes and feel how that runs through the legs. Even if you're sitting, you'll just feel how it runs through your legs into the groin, and we want to get up to the belly. So oftentimes our energy just stops and starts through the body. The muscles could be blocked somewhere, the fascia could be blocked somewhere. We're just going to allow the body to kind of remember what it's like to be a kid and remember what it's like to have these really flexible tensegrous musculature, skin, and bone. I'm going to do bone as well. Okay, this is bringing me to, I just got sort of a knot in my throat. That was um, the communication for allergies, right? So you can start from allergy, like I'm inside right now, basically has been vacuumed and dusted and, taken care of, but you're going to have a lot of dust mites. You're going to have whatever pollutants get into your house. Um, we're going to do that separately. So airborne allergens inside your home. Now, if you're sealed in your home, it's going to be a little different because when you have open windows, you're going to be getting, by osmosis, you're going to have the same air outside. So we're not going to differentiate that for your body mind. So those of us who seal in, so this place is sealed in. I want the body, the innate wisdom, to track that. Then I want an external one. Then we have a third condition for people who have open windows. You don't need those two things happening in your body. It just uses too much energy. We don't want that happening. So, but for a person like me who has inside and outside, we're going to need to do that. So that's going to be dependent on your brain. Even as I'm going through those, wow. Okay, so I'm going through allergens and my legs are getting chills. And it really shows because at the beginning I went, what does this have to do with the gut brain? Like, what are we doing here? What does this have to do with allergies that my feet need to move? Obviously, it has something. I mean, we're interconnected. So I think that when we're having any kind of difficulty in the gut brain, yeah, that's it. So gut brain difficulty, head, right? You're going to get sinus. You can even get foggy head. You can get all kinds of stuff. It's really weird. I thought a bug was crawling on my toe as I said sinus, and the fourth toe felt like it had a bug on it. I checked. There's no bug. So you could just feel like the nervous system is already connecting all of this. I really like this. Very, very cool. There's a contraction going on. I just tell you these things in case you notice them. That you don't have to experience what I experience. But it does lend itself to the possibility you may experience it at a later date. You might experience it over the week, and you can kind of know, hey, that's the session. Yeah, she gave me cues and clues as to, what the treatment is doing. So now we're going to get a burp. That burp is the balancing outside environmental allergens, inside environmental allergens, or both. And we've got to get food allergens, which is separate from seasonal. And because there's some people who seriously have food intolerances, and that can cause a huge problem in the gut, which can then reduce the capacity to think properly and take the steps you need in life. Do you love that connection? I love that. I know it's so simple and obvious, but when it happens and you're not ready for it, it's like, wow, okay, look at that. We've got all of those things working together. It's no wonder what we eat and what goes into the gut influences every single thing we do. Nice burp. There we go. So, tiredness. I was talking about that as a gut brain issue. I thought we were going to go to reabsorption of nutrients at the get go, but it went this way instead, where the allergens are there. Now we're going to start with nutrient reabsorption. So I'm focusing on a lot of people I know who are having this issue. And we're going to do three different categories. One category is going to be liver, where the liver needs to distribute. So for those who have, let's say, um, iron deficiencies, B12, and the rest of the Bs, or it might not be a deficiency. It could be a distribution issue, or it could be a target issue. So this is called the gunas. One is that someone might not be able to store the iron. Someone might not be able to have that, the body might not distribute it. It might not set it out, set it off into the body. And the third one is it may not hit its target. We need iron in all different areas of the body for functioning. It's got to go into the blood. It should get to our muscles. It should get into our brains to be able to function. Yep, there's another burp coming. So I have a little feeling I have a little iron deficiency. So that one's showing that. I'm looking at two people I know who have highly likely they have an iron deficiency. Actually, three, four now is coming up, and those two are both here. Oh, five. Okay. So we're going to do all three gunas. So I don't need to give you all the details, but I'm doing the three levels of the gunas within the gunas and the gunas themselves for the liver, and then distribution from the liver, but also from food. And there we go. It actually has a link to lung function and asthma. Interesting. Which is also going to reduce. I'm going to have to look this up after if this is actually just energetic or it's actually physiologically already illustrated in the medical system. But the iron that is needed for the lungs to be strong enough to inhale, exhale, but also to allow the lining of the bronchioles and alveoli to disperse. Now, there's also allergens in this session, so that could be why I'm seeing this, but at least the iron is going to give the strength. Also, strength to immune system. There we go. Strength to immune system. Okay, so now the foot is calling me again, and I'm right at the liver meridian, at the big toe, and the spleen. Both of them are coming in really strong. Whoa. Okay, there's a lot of pain happening through that area. So I'm going to work it bilaterally. I don't have any pain on the left, but I'm definitely getting pain through the SI joint on the right and then down to the between the big toe and middle toe. Fascinating. Okay. Doesn't mean you'll have it, but you could. Or you might notice another area that your body's trying to take care of, that your meridians are trying to work through and take care of. Oh, and hair. Okay, so I mean, I'm quite a bit older, so my hair loss can also be age, but I feel like there's something else going on in my system where you can see I have goofy hair because I don't try to, overplay with it, because it's falling out quite a bit. And again, I know a lot of people with hair falling out. So, we need to, for those of you who have hair falling out, you have to be careful not to pull it too much, you know, never always brush from the bottom up, and be careful not to, like be strong with your hair, forceful, whether it's massage, like just massaging like this is a good idea. And what else? Obviously, your bees. Uh, Collagen too is a good idea. Iron, just checking that you're getting all your nutrients. All right. I don't know why that needed to be said. That's something you could look up online really easily, but sometimes it's well worthwhile to hear from someone what they are doing. Never put cream rinse up here. Always start your cream rinse down here. Little simple factoids that sometimes we forget when the hair is having difficulty. All right. I'm actually using my hands to go along my thighs, going down the front of my legs, going up the back and the back, just seeing if there's anything else that needs to be determined. So this really thoughtful positioning of where your feet are and where your legs will go will help you with direction. And like one of the gals said, slow down. Yes, very important to slow down. It's and it would start from the feet, but there's another area it would come from is anxious. Anxious. So anxiety is the thing that can push us to go quick. We want to go quicker. Um, get things over with. I don't know why we want to do that, but I can feel like that actually dominates what the thing. What happens when I want to get something over with is because it's an accomplishment. It hits the reward center of the brain. Oh, I did that. That's done, check. Oh, that's done, check. If you have a bunch of things that you have to do, they become a pressure, which, these things are not things that are going to go away. Things do become a pressure. Of course they do. Um, the thing is not to make the insignificant and the unnecessary a pressure, right? It's to have things occurring at a slow rate. You're always going to have things to do. Like there's always laundry, there's always dust, there's always vacuuming. It doesn't mean it has to be done now. When I was young, uh, when it came to cleaning my apartment, I would do it 3 times a week, from top to bottom. It was not a very big apartment, but I loved it shiny. And I had a friend who goes, the dust's going to be there tomorrow. And I go, yeah, I know, but I don't want it to be there. But I thought about it. I mean, it was uh, a person who has allergies, I didn't like to have dust anywhere. But at the same time, it puts you in a good habit. It's good exercise. It's there are these benefits as long as you're not anxious about it. And making the difference here. I was anxious about it. Now it's like, okay, this is a lovely thing to do. Let's go test and clean. It's going to give me some exercise, some activity. Fantastic. And you can move slowly and you don't have to finish it. You don't have to finish it. This is one thing that, we all think I gotta do the whole thing. And no, you don't. And one window's dirty, go clean the one window. Yeah, you might look and say the other window's dirty, but I have another task that's gonna be more important that I need to do the next day or in the afternoon. And so slowing down is all about also this liver energy where it's about organizing and planning appropriately and also where you're laying your importance. And we're going to detach some of the things that don't have to be done right now from the reward center of the brain. Now, there's other levels of anxiety where um, the overthinking mind. This is going to be a long session today. Okay, so the overthinking mind, I'm actually tuning into one person in particular who gets very, very anxious. And it's usually about like spending more time in the thoughts that go on in your head than in actually living life. Like everything is constantly narrated instead of let me just breathe, let me do the thing that I do. Now, there can be many, many reasons why that narration goes. One is you're really not ready to grow up and take responsibility. Whoa, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. So anxiety that arises from not being, you could say ready, but I don't want to. I hear this very Bart Simpson like phrasing. I don't want to. I don't want to grow up and take responsibility. I really don't. Don't want to do that. So when you don't want to do that, but life is happening anyway, you don't really have a choice. Well, you do, sorry. But at some point you're going to have to grow up if you want your anxiety to go. So this is really dealing with the area that I would say has to do a lot more with people pleasing So when you're looking at levels of development, we learn to please others at a very young age. Let's say 2, 3 years old, we know how to please mommy and daddy, so we get what we want. And some people can be 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and still living in that space. Okay. Don't ever think because your body has matured that you are mature. You never necessarily have to think that. You can look inside, be honest with yourself, and say, do I take responsibility for my actions? Or do I sit around blame? I can't because. I can't because. The minute you do that, you are a tiny little child. You're a helpless child, but you're an adult, so it is not childlike. It is childish and will 100% increase anxiety in your life. And it really confuses the gut brain. So right now, just talking about this, the solar plexus area is pushing out, like the stomach is pushing against me, just going boom. So that area is where you're trying, you would want to be digesting whatever's going on around you. You're digesting your experience, you're digesting other people, right? It's really hard um, to live with other people, but you cannot live alone. If you live alone, you lose the capacity to really understand that you're a human being. And you live in your own echo chamber, believing that what you're doing is the way it is, and there's no way to change. And you have nobody challenging you. When no one challenges you, I don't like it. I'm sure you don't like it either. All right. But if you understand that being challenged in your little echo chamber is very, very healthy, you'll start to grow up. It's extremely healthy. You've got an idea of you, a way of seeing things, and you get all your friends together who agree with you and say, yeah, 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 you're never gonna grow. Never. You're never going to have the things that you want in your life. You're just going to have people agreeing with how you are right now. Now, if you're the way you are right now, and you're so happy about it, enjoy it. Continue. Go ahead. Do what you need to do. I don't tell someone they have to do these things. But if you're in a position where you're going, I don't know if I like what I'm experiencing, well, maybe it's a good time to grow up. Now, even though I said that, I know there are a lot of people who are going to say, okay, I'll do it, but you don't mean it. You really don't mean it. You have to remember, we all do these things. Don't ever think that what I say I haven't gone through or am going through or likely will go through again. This is not a unique experience to one individual. We all have levels of immaturity. We all have areas where we're still tiny kids. I know that, when I'm challenged. I get really emotional. I'm a typical female, and I get really emotional. Don't. And then I go, okay, sit back, listen, sit back and listen. I'm really happy. We do a group every week, every 2 weeks, and in this group, I ask the group to challenge me to. I ask the group to go, is that true what I'm saying? Does it make sense? And most of the time, everybody goes, okay. And I think about it in my life and I go, why is it okay for me to ask the group and really be open? I'm very, very open to receiving, another viewpoint. But then if I'm in my private life, I'm not, right? Because it's going to be a surprise. When I'm in my work, if you're challenging it, it's like, okay, we're exploring, we're opening more doors. But when you're in your relationship, and all of a sudden someone brings in something that you are not ready to explore, like what you think about this, that, or the other thing. It could be something so simple, like my partner slash husband called me this morning about a socket in the wall that is, you can't put the socket right through because there's a brick a concrete wall that separates the houses. So there's no way to get it in there. So he said, I'm going to put some, I don't know, I need to get a deep socket so that I can put it outside. And I said, oh, no, why don't you just put it a little further out and put some molding around it? And he was like, oh, what a good idea. I'm going to go to the basement and find some molding. And I went, honey, honey, please don't make it ugly. I want it to be really pretty. Don't make it ugly. If you have to, if it's ugly old sticks that you're going to paint, don't do it. Go get new ones. All right. So I challenged him on something, right? So I challenged his, because you can see his brain was already figuring it out. And it's a great way to save money too. And I go, I don't care about the money. It's only a little bit. Just make sure it's pretty. He's an engineering brain, so uh, as long as everything looks fine, it's okay. But beauty isn't the thing that he perceives, so I have to bring in the beauty part. And usually he's very resistant because making things beautiful is always costly, right? It's always costly. So hopefully that's going to help you understand that, yeah, we're not always looking forward to being challenged. Now, I gave you a story that happened, but there's a lot that happened to me. I can say stuff to him, and he's always like, so, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, but, and then I just go, okay, sit back, think about it. He's only looking out for your best. It's okay to critique yourself. It's a good idea. So, and it's a great way to find out where you're stuck, right? It's a great way to find out what your habits are about. So, habitually, I've, run my own life, taken care of it. It's been now 12 years, I think, that I'm in a relationship, working out really nicely. But there are times that I get into my place where it's like, this is the way it's going to be. And it's not. You're in a relationship. So this is what I was trying to bring up, that we're having a struggle. Ugh, I really didn't want to bring this up. Oh, Monica, support me. Dear Monica, support me on this. Uh, yeah, I've known a lot of feminists in my lifetime. And when I was about in 1975, I was about 15, I thought something was very wrong with feminism, then started reading Camille Paglia, and I very much agreed with her. So I was able to differentiate between what kind of feminism I was going to have and which was going to be destructive. Yes, I followed many pathways of feminism that were very destructive until I was about, I don't know, 28, 29. I went, this is ridiculous. I gotta stop doing this. This is dumb. This is just bad. It's bad for me. It's bad for everyone around me. So I started to break down those belief systems. But there are a lot of women with them. So that have these belief systems that have been part and parcel of the destruction of the family. It's destroying family life. It's destroying that, you have a male and female mom and dad for kids. I'm not 100% sure what works and what doesn't work. I've seen single parent families have gorgeous kids. I've seen, gay families have great kids, and I've seen the opposite. Okay, this isn't about something generic, but it is about turning the family, which I did. Okay, so I'm going to accept my responsibility in this, that I accepted that, you know, uh, maybe it's not a good idea to get married, don't get married. You could have a kid whether you're single or you're not. You could, all those things were very, very liberal for me. And when I got into my 40s, which is really like just about 20 years ago, it is 20, it's 26 years ago. Oh my God, I'm so old. Okay, 26 years ago. So we're talking about I'm getting to the end of my 30s, going into my 40s. Oh my God, I still think I'm 30. Okay. Anyway, so we get there, and I realized I mean, I started realizing it was a mistake, but you had to work it out on your own because everyone was kind of feminist, and people who were not feminist, who were more traditional, they couldn't really discuss it. They were just, well, it's just the way it is. Oh my God. I don't want to hear that. So I figured it out on my own. And by the time I got to my 40s, I went, this is a big mishkabibble. This is a big mess. It's a big mess. This is not the way life works. I'm just gonna, work till I die. That's it. No, I need a partner. I want to have a baby, which couldn't happen. It was a little bit too late for me to do that. But I need someone in my life, which thank God I have someone. He has two kids, so I get to have these step kids, and it's wonderful, right? This is absolutely wonderful. This is what life is all about. I don't think my work as fulfilling and how much I love my work. I spend hours and hours in my work. You see, I do it gratis because yeah, okay, I can say I do it gratis because I'm doing it for the world. Oh, please. I love doing it. That's why I do it. It's very, very rare. I think like once I was really, really sick and I didn't want to get on here and do it. But God, every week I look forward to being on here with everyone. And we do some other work too that is gratis. I just like it. I love it, but not as much as I love hugging my man. Okay, not as much as I love hugging my man. That's I'm here alone down here. Um, I have neighbors, isolated, working like 15 hours a day because it's just fun. But no hugs? What? No hugs. I can't wait. He's arriving soon. So that's life. That's what life is all about. Except, I think kids are really a huge part. Now you could say, you don't know what you're talking about. All right, that's fine. You live your life as you need to live it. But one of the things that my uh, partner slash husband, we're not legally married, but under the eyes of God, I guess, him and I are married. So um, he really has taught me something that I didn't always consider. So in my words, I always looked at the work that I do for myself, and whoever's going to do it with me is going to help everyone. So it's all grassroots. If I'm healing, if my friend is healing, if my clients are healing, we heal the world for the betterment of the world. But it's very healthy narcissistic work. Okay, healthy narcissism. I don't think it's unhealthy. Sometimes it could be, you could get too much into your navel gazing and it's not so good. But we're looking at, I look in the mirror, see what I'm doing so I can improve myself so it improves society. There's a bit of a detachment there between myself and society. What my partner has taught me is every decision he sorts through, the end result, he always has it as, will this be good for society? And when he first started doing it, I was like, God, that's so weird how he does that. Will his decision and what he does and what he votes for, what he likes, will it be good for society? And I just started thinking about it. And I went, well, of course. Every action I take, is it good for society? Because if it's good for society, society evolves, then it's good for me. We've stopped thinking that way. We stopped thinking that way. And men do. Men think that way. I've noticed many, many, many men think that way. I'm not saying every woman and every man, okay, guys? So, you know, don't start making comments that I don't know what I'm talking about. You can check it for yourself. Um, Women have the tendency not to think of society as a whole. They think of what they feel bad about in society, then legislate it to make it happen, so that this is just consistently what we do. We go and get it legislated, right? While men are out there making society, and we make it rougher on them for society to function. So, and a lot of women will say the same thing. I look and I've asked this question to many women. You know, what would happen tomorrow if like all women stopped working? Okay, so they'd just be replaced, I think, by men, or their jobs would be obsolete. Yeah, okay, fine. Uh, but if men stopped working, what if they just got up and went, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of, working. What's going to happen? Um, we're in big trouble. We won't have electricity. We won't have, roads. We won't have anything that makes our job. I have a job here. This is internet intensive. This is my job. Electronics, internet. Yesterday, my internet went out. Called the company. It's guys out there working on whatever malfunction in the outage that was going on. It's not me. I'm not going to be. My partner and I are 3 years apart. That's it. I can't climb up on a roof on a ladder. I can't do that. He's up there all the time. Bing, 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 hops up. My father was a decade older than me, and he was up on the roof of this house. You kidding me? Me get up on that roof? No. So if it comes to electricity and a hole in my roof, I ain't repairing it. It's just not going to be happening. So something to think about in terms of where we're going and what we're doing and decisions we're making in relationship to the world around us, to our society, how to make society better. And that comes back to where I started this: relationships. Relationships. I don't think we understand each other when it comes to men and women. Women understand women. Some women are dishonest about what some women do. Some women are dishonest about what they do. I remember in my early 20s telling my brother and my dad what women are like. And they were like, "What are you talking about? What are you saying?" And I go, "Well, that's what we're like. Don't base it on your sister and your daughter." And I have a sister as well. We're not your typical type of women. We speak, we do not wait in our heads for you to imagine what we want. We don't do that. We just say it straight up. We don't sit there and like wish for you to do something. Now there are a lot of women like that. So, but we know what women are doing. So I've heard it over and over and over again. I've been doing this work for um, professionally since 1995, and I saw these things very, very early. I started reading tarot at 12 years old, and it was always the same. Women would go, "Why can't he just read my mind? He should just know what I want." Okay, so that brings it back to relationships, immaturity. That's really immature, right? He should just know what I want. The problem with that, though, there's another little aspect there. Some women will lose attraction for a man if he doesn't read her mind. Oh, God. That is going to be very, very difficult for that woman, and you will find those women single. Um, Okay, and or married and complaining all the time. Uh, the other thing is to bring this to anxiety. So I brought it through relationships between men and women, but it's a great barometer. And I didn't give you a lot of information. You could go research all of this on your own. But to figure out where, as a female, you've stunted your growth, especially in the people pleasing category, and where you need to evolve. So, a lot of us women need to evolve in certain areas. We need to mitigate our emotional world, right? We'll have this tendency to be very emotional, and we think that that is what's special and what is, dramatic and what makes us interesting. No, it's boring and it's annoying. So, I'm not saying in all circumstances, again, please, this is not absolute, but don't excuse yourself because you think you're the exception. Okay. You could be the exception, but please don't excuse yourself. Yeah, the only people I think of who would really mitigate um, their their emotions are those women in Victorian times, who just end up fainting, on the fainting couch, or the Brits, they were always so even keeled. They didn't have these, you know, super emotional stuff. And when I was young, I thought, what is wrong with these people? Now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my God, how did they do that? How were these women able to mitigate? Because we've come into an era where you're just a express your emotions. What? Why did we? I mean, I always heard that and I thought it was the weirdest thing. You can give voice to what you're feeling, sure, but I've got to express myself. I've got to express my emotion. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I don't need to know about it. You really don't need to do that. You just acknowledge them. You're not ignoring them, you acknowledge them, and then you go, hey, why don't I take in a little bit qualitatively how I'm going to deal in society? Because do you want everybody yelling? You want everybody yelling at each other because they've had a bad day? No, I don't. And it seems to be happening. I was in, this is quite a few years ago now. This is before 2019, uh, maybe 15, 16, I was in one of those um, all-inclusive trips. I think it was in the Dominican, and there were a bunch of Americans there, and they just started yelling and screaming and fighting and throwing furniture. And I was like, well, what is happening to the world? Why, how could you go to a place and actually this person was crying racism to another person of color. I was just like, what? What are you doing? It was just the strangest interaction. And in those days, I couldn't walk. So I was like, we have to get out of here because there was furniture flying. It was the strangest thing. And these people continued the same behavior over days and days. So, um, yeah, why don't we want society to be okay? Why do we think our personal emotional content, our personal stories, our personal difficulties should be anyone else's responsibility but our own? So there you go. Think about it. Think about where you're at. I'm not saying any of these things as fact. I'm saying them as look and see what you want in your life and what you want to experience and how you want society to go. If you want society to be utter chaos and destroy, well, that's your choice. Or you want society to be really good and happy and wonderful, and we can all, um, yeah, have a part to play in a beautiful world. That's up to you. So let's just breathe on that because for me, today I am going to select for myself even greater capacity to mitigate my emotional world. This is mostly with people that are very close to me. People that are not close to me, usually it doesn't happen. There's actually someone here who's very close to me, and I had one of my emotional outbursts with her. So I still will always thank you for your consideration when I had my emotional weirdness. So people close to us are very understanding of moments where we have difficulty. But I still don't like that it happened, and I still think about it, and I'm still triggered by my inability to mitigate what was going on with me. And I always pray every day that can be something that I regulate more and more, that I find more and more equilibrium between when I'm going overboard and when I'm because it would be in my life that maybe I've gone overboard, there was too much. Especially with the phone, right? I don't know if you get message after message after message. You're working at the same time. You've got your house, you've got people, and then all of a sudden something comes in and you explode. So that actually that day with this person has helped me mitigate that as well. Anytime I start feeling that pressure rising when that phone is in my hand, I drop it. I go, no, go. You're going for a walk. Go clean something. Go outside. There's no need to continue this. So, that's the benefit of that experience and my gratitude to this person for taking me through it. So, if you would think of one too, you just think of one and we'll just breathe all together. So as you're thinking of yours, we'll just breathe. Hey, I'll love you all and leave you. You can continue doing your work as you need to. Bye, everyone.